I want to do something different for my Facebook friends than on my Instagram and stuff. So this shaft fitting system that I've been working on, what makes it so cool is the discovery over the past decade and a little bit, really of where how the sequence of events take place. The pressure, the pressure that the feet generate goes relatively slow, but it has to be in front of the hands in order to brake properly. We know the number one way to gain distance is to get pressure to the lead side early, have the ability and strength to hold it there, and then you have to brake, and that's where the hands go rapidly past it. Okay, so the feet for an average guy move 8 to 10 miles an hour, hands 10 to 15, and then the ball speed, maybe 120 to 140, but it's that sequence of events that really make it important, because it's like a whiplash where boom, stop, and then the little end goes whipping past it. In a good player, touring pro, the flow of energy is going to be clockwise. It's going to be underneath. And the toes are the brakes, the heels are the accelerators. So if you want to accelerate properly, you're going to accelerate basically from the transverse proximal arch, which is where the ankle joins the foot, to the lead side. And that's really important, because if you're trying to accelerate through your toes, because God gave you 10 toes for a reason, they're for stability and braking. That means you're not accelerating optimally. So you want to accelerate from basically between the ball and the heel of your foot to the lead side. And then you're going to brake on your lead side, stop, and everything's just going to go boom right past it. In a linear trace, it's straight back, straight through. That trace is everything's in sync. The pressure is moving faster than the hands. Hands, you brake properly. The hands, they close. The rate of closure is smooth, and boom, everything is nice. So that shaft's very even load profile. Then in a lateral trace, and the number one pressure flaw in golf is there's just too much pressure in the toes. So again, it's not my theory. The toes are the brakes, the heels are the accelerators. So now you're accelerating suboptimally, okay? And now the pressure doesn't get to the lead side quick enough, and you brake a little late, so the hands are rapidly going past your hands, and you're losing some energy. So you need a shaft that's going to resist that closure, and it's going to allow you to you can use this trace and optimize the energy release into the ball, and that's the goal. And in the fishhook trace, it's where the gap gets wider than the pressure going back to the trail side. It gets wider. Now you're more into your toes. And there are some pros that do have this trace in their driver, and not many, but there are a few. And now their hands are rapidly getting past the pressure. They've got to time the brake almost unbelievably. And there's something funny with their hands to keep the club on track, or they got to have a shaft that we can build for them based on the load profile. Then in the heel to toe trace, the pressure is moving optimally from the trail heel to the lead side, but this is typically a long-headed trace where the golfer brakes really hard on the lead side. They've got a ton of power. They brake hard on the lead side, and they're strong enough to hold it there, but they have an unbelievably fast rate of closure. So we have a really heavy tip section, and that's in the yellow shaft back here. And that shaft is really good for those types of guys. I kind of like that shaft. Boom, turn over. Now the Z trace, completely different animal, but it's kind of like a heel to toe, but different in the context that just before impact they pull back to create the dynamic loft. And then a lot of people have heard me say that those guys would be better off with a shorter driver and the proper dynamic loft on the driver, so that they don't have to compensate and bend their spine, which could hurt them, to generate the loft. But you get excited and you're going to do these things, and these are the 5 key traces. There's lots of little variances where we call them squirrels, where guys may back up and go forward prior to impact. But these are the 5 basic traces that we see, and I've had some people tell me that this is the holy grail of shaft fitting, and it just might be. But this is going to be in the new OnForm app. The algorithm is being tested now. We're really excited, and it's a little longer video than what most people will listen to, but if you're interested in getting the right shaft, 2 golfers swinging at the same club at speed with a totally different swing, based on current technology, we basically just give them the same shaft. Now, expert fitters won't do that, but most people would. So, this is a new way to look at things, load and load profiles, and this is, I believe, it's going to become the next. Well, it's proper. It works. It's that simple. Terry Hashimoto, SwingBalance. See you later.